In this tutorial, I'm going to cover how to create this video, which I just worked on this weekend. And as we see here, we see a young woman walking down the street, and then she gets struck by lightning, and you see lots of blood, and then you see the aftermath, okay? And it's similar to the one I'd shown in class, but, it's a lot cleaner video, and we're only working with one person being struck by lightning. I wanted to simplify this and also show you some additional things. So that's why I decided to do this one. And if you want to learn more, I actually learned most of this through Video Copilot. And if I could find my webpage here you go. So Video Copilot I've talked about in class before, and they've got some great tutorials. The only thing is they always want to sell you something. So he includes like this shows you how to make this guy struck by lightning, and then it shows you how to make him explode, which is awesome, man. And I learned so much from this. But the thing is, they don't give you all the assets. They're trying to sell you things, and also you can see these videos are pretty short compared to what mine's going to be because he covers everything fairly quickly, And I'm going to be covering things in live time. I'm not going to speed ahead, and I'm going to explain things very thoroughly because I'm learning this, and I want to teach you so that you don't make the same mistakes I made when I was making my first couple of videos doing this. Okay, so let's go back over to our After Effects here, and we'll just double click this. And so let's go outside for just a second here, and I'm going to show you your file folder. And see, this was mine, but I'm going to upload this folder or these assets here. And what we have here is we've got some blood splatters, which I had created in Adobe Photoshop with a splatter brush that was from one of the Kyle brushes, if you know anything about that. If you don't, you want to know, I can show you how to paint certain things. I found a hole, which I cut out from, like a pothole on the road. And then we got our video here, okay? And all this will be supplied to you in our D2L class. So what you're going to need to do is we're going to go and start a new project. We're going to go new footage, new composition for footage, and we're going to find that. And we got, we're in the right one. Just double click. And when we double click, it brings everything to where it needs to be. It even brings the video down into the layers and into the timeline, okay? And so let's go ahead and save this. And we're going to go save as, and you can put your name on it, but I'm going to call this lightning exercise. You can put lightning and put your name on it. If I can spell lightning. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to actually save this. Let me go out here. Outside my assets. Let me just find it here. Here we go. Lightning demo. That my assets are in there. I'm going to save it here. Okay. So my assets are in their own folder. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this layer. And so we got to select the layer and do Command or Control D since you're working on PCs, and that will create another layer there. And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to make this into a pre-comp. So we right-click this and we go Pre-Compose, and it will make its own pre-comp. We want to move all attributes into a new composition. Okay, we don't need to worry about this part right here. So it does that. Now let's go here forward here in this video. Now we're in the pre-comp one, which is fine. But what we want to do is we want to find out where do we want to get her hit by lightning, because she could be hit by lightning at any point. We'll do it maybe here. Let's just see here. That might be a good place for her to get hit. I'm just looking around, seeing. Okay, so let me zoom out here just a little bit. Let's just walk this through here. Because I might decide to get her hit by lightning a little closer in here. Like maybe there. Okay? So let's say she's going to get hit by lightning somewhere in here. Then what we'd want to do is we would want to trim down this. Now, I'm in the pre-comp. I'm in the duplicate of the original video there, okay? And we're going to go and trim comp to work area. And the reason we're doing this is we're going to have two videos sitting on top of each other, and one is going to have her disappear, okay? So in order to have her disappear by lightning, we're going to have to take her out. And the way we're going to have to do this is through masking and also content aware fill, which is awesome. But what I want to go through is this. So you need to be on the layer. You need to click on the layer. And I'm going to use the pen tool, but I'm going to show you I've seen some videos where they talk about how to do this. And they'll draw a rectangle. And we'll just move that rectangle so it actually covers her better. Okay. And what they'll tell you to do is you make a video, you make that, and then you can go and select none. Okay. And then we'll go and do track mask, which is what we're going to do. The tracker will pop up here. And if not, you can always bring it up here under window. Okay. You see tracker down here. Okay, we're going to click this button right here, which says track selected mask forward. Now, I've done this before with one of the tutorials provided by After Effects, showing you how to remove a man from a background, and he was a little bitty figure in a big background, and the rectangle followed him perfectly. And as you can see here, this rectangle's not following her. So we're going to have to just do this ourselves. And so let's just undo that mask. Okay? And make sure we're on this layer. And one of the problems with doing the mask like that is it didn't capture her cast shadow. So that's why I want to use the pen tool. Okay? And let's zoom in here so we get close. And we're going to start drawing around her. Now, you don't want to use too many points, but the closer in, the better, because it's going to take out. And I'm going to imagine that her cast shadow is somewhere here. We can't see it in this frame because of where she's located, but I'm trying to get in here somewhat close because it's going to create eventually. First, we create the mask. There we go. And then let's go and do none so we can see it. And let's scroll down here and click mask path. Now, I made a mistake. I was setting up a tutorial doing this, and I moved the mask, and then I went to play it, and the mask wasn't following her. So let's just move it ahead a little bit here. And then let's go back up here and get our selection tool. And we want to come in on the mask here and double click so you see that bounding box. Now we can move the whole thing up with her like this. Okay? And we want to kind of move the mask a little closer to her too so it sort of shrinks. So I'm going to double click out here. Now I'm going to zoom out for a second because I've had all kinds of issues trying to get things right because sometimes I'll come outside here to try to move the mask, but then I accidentally, see, I'm moving the mask now. But then I sometimes have accidentally moved the background, and it's not doing it this time, so that's a good thing. Anyway, let me see if I can just move the background here. Yeah, it's not going to do it. All right, I was hoping to show you something to avoid, and I might be able to do that in a moment because it just seems to happen to me quite a bit sometimes when I'm trying to move all these points around. And that's one of the reasons I don't just give you a tutorial that someone else has created, because I like to try to troubleshoot everything, and that's the best way to kind of keep, help you guys so you don't make as many mistakes as I do, because I put a couple of weeks worth of work trying to learn all this stuff here. And you're going to be learning this within this tutorial. So anyway, let's continue forward here, and let's go back. Let's zoom back here and see if this keeps up with her. Now, there's a part that right there that sticks out, so I'm going to just move the mask there. Okay, and so I'm looking where her feet are at. I'm looking at everything else. I'm making sure she's in it. Now we're scrubbing ahead forward more. Okay, we'll scrub ahead a little bit farther. And then let's go and double click the mask and pull it forward here. We'll zoom in on her. There we go. And by the way, this film I'd gotten off the internet, and I'll give you some websites to find some royalty-free stock footage. And I'm trying to click outside of here. There we go. And what we got to do is click and then move. There we go. But I found this, and it was super high resolution. I mean, it was ultra high def, and trying to work with it was a little sluggish on my computer. So I actually resized it, and I'm going to talk to you guys and do a tutorial about that when you do your project if you're using found footage like I have here. Anyway, that looks okay. Let's go ahead forward. All right. Oops, come on. Oops, I moved the whole thing there. Control Z or Command Z. I'm on a Mac, but Control Z for you guys. Double click. We'll move this forward. Not doing a bad job, but we got to we'll click off here. And then, oops. See, this is the part I cannot get to that one point. All right. Yeah, see, I get the whole thing. And this is my problem. I'm going to do Shift Command A, which is deselect. There we go. And that's the keyboard shortcut in Illustrator to deselect. But it works here in After Effects. I'll just move everything up here. And we'll scrub back a little bit too. But I want to get this close into her, because the content aware fill is going to make all these different PNG files of her that will cover up the background. Okay, so let's scrub it back a little bit and see if she steps out. Yeah, she steps out just a little bit here, so we'll just move that there. Okay, we're getting close. So I'm moving ahead, maybe a little bit even further here. And then let's go and double click this and bring it forward. And we'll do Shift Command A and then click on, a point and move it up like this. And try to move this up where her cast shadow is. Yeah, a lot of tutorials they include in After Effects, they're situated where they make it easy to do this, and when you do it in real life on another type of image, it makes it hard, and it doesn't always work. Just got to keep that in mind. Now the reason I scrub back here is to make sure that no part of her is coming outside that mask. Okay, so we're going to go forward again. We're almost done, really, because once she gets down so far, we won't have to do too much. All right, so we'll move that there. Shift Command A, and then see if I can get that point there. Just kind of keep moving this forward. We'll move that up there. And then we'll have to scrub it back to see if she comes outside of it. I'm just going back. Okay, now let's go forward more. I'm going to go to the end there and see if we could just get it done here, okay? There's that. I'm going to do Shift Command A or Control A since you're on a PC. Move that forward. And move these. And just move this in a little bit. And then we're going to scrub it back again to see if she comes out. Okay, it looks like everything's working here. Okay, so now that we got that done, let's play it here. Well, we won't see it, but let's do this. We're going to go and change the mask here from none to subtract. Okay, and all I'm looking for is anything if her cast shadow pops out. That's not bad. Okay, so now what we need to do is, I think I got it right. We're going to go to Window, and we're going to look for Content Aware Fill. I'm hoping this works well. It may take a little bit of time here. I've got the alpha expansion set to 2, okay? And we're going to do for object, entire duration. That's why we're going to bring our timeline to the front there. Now we're going to generate fill layer. Now this is going to take a few minutes, okay? But first it's going to analyze. And then it's going to generate all these fills above it. And you can see the fill. See, it just made a new layer above it. The first layer, it says fill. Well, after it analyzes, it's going to start writing all those fills for it. And there we go. Now, hopefully it won't take too long to render, because I tried to make this so it would go fast. Because I have sat here for 2 minutes before waiting for this. All right, I don't know if this is done it or not. Sometimes it just takes a moment. Because if I go back to here, see, she's gone. Let me go back to here. Okay, there she's gone, okay? So let's see her. And see, it does a fairly nice job there. I don't see anything. Now, I've done this on some videos. I was going to do it with these two guys. And when I did the mask and did the generate fill, it did this weird warping of the background. And so I said, okay, we can't use that as our tutorial. I just want to warn you about that in case for your project, you decide to mask out people like what I'm doing. I'm going to give you several options on your project, okay? But anyway, see, that works great. Now let's go over back to the main comp here. And what we're going to do is we're going to scrub this thing over. And let's play it now. And I'm hoping everything works here. So she should disappear in just a second as soon as it hits that. And great! Okay? That works. I'm happy. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is add lightning. Okay? So we're going to add lightning. I'll pull this about right here. And have her being struck by lightning. The way we're going to do this is pretty simple. First, we're going to create a new solid layer. Okay, we'll have the black. We'll have the color filled with black. I don't really think it matters too much, by the way, but I think I've done a green one before and it worked. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our effects, and we're going to find that here, over here, if I can find it. We'll come over here. Here's effects. All right, so what we're looking for is lightning. So instead of going through all the folders and trying to find it, I'm going to go into the search bar here and type in LIGH and see if we start to find it. Lightning. We want vertical lightning. Okay? And we're going to drag it over here into this, and boom. There's lightning, okay? And if you play it, that's what it does. Okay, but we're going to need to make all these adjustments to it, okay? So let's go back here. And the first thing you're going to need to do is change the origin so it's closer into her. And the best way to do that is come over here. You see this says origin right there. That allows you to come over here and just, if you move this, we're going to move it somewhere around here. Maybe it's coming from here, okay? And boom, that changes. Now we're going to go to direction. Click on that little thing there, and then we'll go and where it hits her at, okay? So it's going to be hitting her here. All right, now, we want to change this, though. Hopefully this will keep everything the same, but we want to go from direction over here as lightning type to strike. All right, so when it turns to strike, it does that. And see? It just struck her, and she's disappeared. All right. And we can play around with this. So one of the things I'm going to do is, and we'll change the color and everything. So we're going to change the direction here, and we'll just click on this. So it's probably more up here, and then it's going to come down and hit her. Okay. And when it does that, we want it to hit her better. So let's get this again, this little crosshairs, and make it so it hits her there. Okay. And so it actually should be putting in some keyframes for us. And if we look at this, yeah, see there's under effects and there, and then we'll go under advanced lightning, and therefore you see all the keyframes. Okay, so it's putting in those keyframes for us where we need that at. I'm just seeing what happens when we do that. We might need to get rid of the keyframe. Oops, cancel. All right, I'm going to get rid of this keyframe here. Let's go back here. Okay, so this one's up, see like that? And then it comes down, it hits her. And then what we're going to do is we're going to scrub it ahead a little bit. And this, let's see where does this go to? We'll find out. Let's go over here and see where it goes. So it goes over here. See, if we had time, or if you want to try, we could hit the other guys. But the problem is you've got to mask them all out and do that whole thing again. And that's what I had to do to the other one I did. So I'm going to pull this in. Conductivity state. We're going to move all these in here. So let's just grab those and move those in. Now there's another one there. I don't know what it is. Course, it's under core settings, obviously. All right, core radius. We'll drag it over. There we go. So what we're going to do is let's stay on those keyframes, but we're going to change this back up to here, so that what happens is it's going to strike her and then kind of go back up, you know. And of course, it's going to disappear when we shorten the layer, because you know what we're generally going to do here is this. We're going to take this layer in, so this is here, this is here, and let's play around with this. Actually, let me see. Yeah, I did do the layer. I'm going to make sure I did the layer. So let me go back up here. Oh, no, I was moving the comp area, so you don't want to do that. So you want to move the layer. I just scroll back up there, and the layer is all in red. Okay, now let's see what happens. We'll move out here and play this. Okay, it's a little slow there. So if we move this in a little closer, move these in, try to scrub down here and get all these, and move these in a little. Oops, cancel. We might need a little more room here to work. And move these in here like this. So let's see here. Let's play it again. Not bad. And we want to kind of have it disappear here on us. So I'm just going to keep doing this until I get it to look right. It almost looks like it takes her up there, you know. Yeah, it looks. That's kind of a neat look, like if we were trying to transport her up. Okay. Yeah, not bad. Okay, so let's play around with some things here. So we've got some different things to play around with. Let's go up under conductivity state. I don't know if we need too much of that. Well, you know, look at this. So we changed conductivity state. You know, it adjusts that. Okay, and I like that right there. Course settings. Let's look at course settings. Opacity. Okay, and color. Now the color's white, but the glow we're going to change. Okay, so I'm making some changes here. All right, so glow settings. Now that's going to change. And we want to change that for the everything here. So I'm going to click this, and we'll get an eyedropper, and we'll click something like here. Okay? And we'll click OK. So now the glow setting is changed, and that looks good. Yeah? I don't know if we need to do too much else. Oh, forking. Okay, forking is about all these little extra ones that come off here, okay? So in the beginning, let's just see here. Because we could add more forks in, and then, there we go. That's not bad. I think this is good enough for what we need to do. I could keep playing around. I think it's important for you guys to get in here and play around with this to see what you can do here. Because one of the things we can do is, let's go over here, and we can up the glow radius here a little bit more. So when it hits her, and the glow opacity will go up a little bit more. So now, let's go back here. Okay. There's almost a little circle there. And it's okay. I think that has to deal with, and I'm looking through all my settings here. That's the opacity, the conductivity. Because I had this problem before, and I actually ended up making it less. It could just generally be with, let's see here, the radius. So that's that. But let's go up to direction. That's interesting. All right, let's see if this is going to hit her still. Okay, make sure. Yeah, okay. As long as that hits her, that's the main thing. So let's see here. Still there. And there's something. Doesn't always. Yeah, right there it is again. I think I might have to. I don't know if it's dealing with the opacity here. We get the radius. Yeah, it seems like when I adjust the direction there, it takes care of that. But this happens so fast, so let's play it. I see it again. Right there. So let me play around with that. Let me see if that will take it out. So obviously it has something to do with the direction there. Okay. That's not bad. I'll play it one more time here, just because I enjoy seeing that. Okay, so now we've got that happening. So now we're going to have to do some more stuff. And we're going to have to make her explode and not look like she's being taken away. Okay? And also we're going to put a mighty glow behind her, but we'll do that next. And I think that may help too. So let's do this next, okay? We're going to go down to this layer. We'll make a new adjustment layer. I think this is what I should be doing. And we go to layer, new adjustment layer. Okay, and then let's go to effect. And we want to do, simulate. We don't want to do that there. I'm just looking here. Particle system, ball. Okay, generate burst. There we go. So I want to generate this burst here. And we'll go a little bit beforehand here. Okay. And we're going to, let's just scrub down here so we see everything, the effects. Okay. CC core. Okay. So we're going to keep the center there. The intensity, we'll click on and just lower that down to 0. And we're going to do the same. We're going to do the rays, and we're going to do the same thing for the rays, so that the rays do not do that. Okay. Then let's scrub ahead to where she's being hit, and we'll bring the intensity back up. But let's bring out the rays too, so we can see it. So now it's going to be doing that. Okay. So now it's like boom. Woo. See, that looks better. And then as it goes up and away. Before it takes her away. perhaps. Let's see here. Probably about right there. And we can move all this stuff forward if we need to. I'm just going to take the rays back down to 0. And the intensity is going to go back down too. Okay. And I think this will work better. Let's take a look here. All right. Not bad. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move this stuff just a little bit more. Get this too. And just move everything just a little bit closer, and let's just see what this looks like. Okay. Not bad. All right, I can live with that. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn this off for the moment. I'm going to turn both those layers off. And come down here, and we're going to make a new solid layer. Okay? And not a new solid layer. I apologize. Not a new solid layer. We're going to do a new shape layer. Okay? And we're going to get our pen tool. Let's zoom in here. Let's make some room so we can see this and zoom in on her. But what I'm going to do is, with the pen tool, I'm going to make a shape here. I've got a fill and I got a stroke here, but it's got nothing on it because it says it's got white, but there's no pixels. And so we're going to just kind of trace around her somewhat close to make a silhouette shape. It doesn't have to be perfect. Because this is going to be happening so fast. What we're doing is we're going to put an effect on this silhouette. And that's where we get the blood. All the splattering. All right. Good. That's probably close enough there. Okay. And I'm not even worried about taking out the center there. That's going to be fine. All right, so let's scrub this up just a little bit so we can see this better. And so we got this shape here. And I'm going to actually duplicate this shape. So we'll do Command or Control D there. And these two shapes, we're going to pre-comp. Okay, and let's just go and click this and do pre-compose. All right. Yes, okay, do that. Let's go back here for just a second. This pre-comp we're going to rename, just so we know what it is. And that's going to be, we'll call that the blood layer, okay? Not the blood layer, but the blood layer. Okay. Let's actually rename this one. We'll call it Gone Girl. Okay, or Girl Gone, or Vanishing Girl. Doesn't matter. All right, so let's go into the blood thing here. And our composition, we got on a black background, so let's change our composition settings so this thing's sitting on a white background so we can see it. Oops, sorry about that. Click OK. All right, there we go. So now we see this. So what we're going to do is fairly simple. We're going to put an effect on one of them first, and then we'll do another one. Okay, so the effect we're going to be putting on this is it's going to be like a particle thing. So I think we can look for it up in here. Let me see if I can get to effect here. Okay, so effect, and I think it's, let's see here, simulate. Okay, simulate pixel poly. And what pixel poly does is this, is that it will actually break her apart like that. Okay? Which is kind of cool. And if you're doing something 2D, and I think one of the students had a project in the class that said, oh, you could do pixel poly and make that break away there. That's what I was talking about, because it's very two-dimensional looking, okay? So what we want to do is we want to play around with some of this stuff and since this is going to be blood, we're going to turn the spin off of it. And then, as far as how it falls away, we're going to take the gravity and lessen that. Okay? Because that how it has to deal with how this all falls out. Okay? So if we actually take the gravity down further here, it'll fly out more like that. Okay? Now, the next thing I'm going to work on is, let's see, randomness. Spacing. Spacing actually has to do with this, with how much of these there are. Okay? And let's just try to move this here. Okay, so this isn't bad, but we're going to do some more things to it to make it look better when it animates. And one of the things we're going to be doing is, and I'm looking at anything I need to do right now, because there's all kinds of things we can do here. Directional randomness, speed randomness. We can play around with that perhaps. Speed spacing, object. We're doing the textured polygon, okay? And, okay. So I'm going to put another effect on this. And let me just zoom out here. And that effect is going to be roughen. Yeah, roughen edges. I believe that's what I want. Let me scrub, see if I can see more of this. Oh. Sometimes I really hate how these windows react to each other, because it's hard to see everything. And I think it's just roughen. Yeah, see, my problem is I just can't see enough. Let's put that on there. There we go. Look at that. That really helps. Okay, so we can play around with the border here a little bit. So it breaks down. It doesn't look like these geometric shapes at all. Fractal influence. Scaling. And I'm just playing around here, seeing what we can get here. I think I might take the scaling back this way. I'm just playing around. Okay, complexity. Evolution. So what's going to happen is this. Okay. So that's not bad there. That one really likes to linger for some reason. That last one there. And that might have to do with something dealing with the speed here. So start time, speed randomness. I'll bring it down. Let's just see what happens here. That one really likes to linger. All right, direction randomness maybe. Let's see here. I'm just playing around. Because I think that's the best way to learn how to do something, is to see what it can do, okay? Not bad, not bad. Okay, we can live with this for this tutorial. Now, on this one, we're going to do basically the same thing here. So we're going to put on this one. Let's see here. Pixel poly, yes. Okay. And this time, we're going to make the spacing much smaller so that these pieces are much smaller like that. Okay. And we can maybe make them just a little larger here. And I think we can actually do, yeah, okay, there's squares we could do. We could put roughen on this also. So let's go and do roughen. Okay, we'll put that on there. And so that will do that. And let's see here if there's anything we should adjust here. The scale we could bring down. Let's play around with the scaling on that. See how that affects that. And let's see here. Let's see, border. I'm going to take the border out a little bit. I'm just, like I said, I like to play around. And I think it's good for you guys to get used to playing around with stuff too, just so you see how things work and see what you can do with them, okay? And see how they can be utilized in other projects. So anyway, let's go and change the tint. And so let's go to shape 1 here. And I think what we got to do is go to color, and I'm looking for it, color correction. And we'll go to tint. All right, so maps to black. I think we're going to do it where this is more red. There we go. Maybe something more darker like that. So now let's take a look at this. Now it's a little slow, but it may go faster and we're going to have to play around with where this gets placed in the timeline. And I'm just letting this go all the way through here, so bear with me. Because I could shorten this pre-comp, and I just haven't done that yet. And sometimes I don't want to screw up something, because I will try to fix something when this is happening, and I'll screw up my project. So I'm just going to let it play through there. Not bad. Okay, I can live with that. Now let's go and go back to our main comp, which is girl walking. And we're going to take this blood here and have it start. I'm just going to have to move this over here. All right, the lightning's not on, that's why. So let's turn on the lightning here. And let's zoom out so we can see. And that's pretty much how I'd done that before, but we'll just let it play in real time here. It's not bad. It's not what I was looking for. I'm going to try to play with it just a little bit more here. I think if I can do something... Yeah, we're going to play around here a little bit more here. Let's go back into blood and see what we got going on here. So as it goes out, let me go and do something with... We'll be on the first one there. And I'm looking at spacing. Maybe bring that down a little bit more. And as it goes out, I'm wondering about even decreasing it more. So let's see if that does anything. Okay, let's play that. Not bad. Okay. Now the other thing I want to play around with is the gravity. Okay. And I'm going to lessen the gravity more. So let's play around with that. And what happens when the gravity is not as great, it'll just fly out more. Okay, let's go up to the top one there and play with the gravity. If I can find it, there's gravity. Yes, we're gonna gravity down here. All right, let's play this now. And the other thing I want to try to play around with is, let's see what's going on here with all these CC poly, CC options. I want to see if I can go and find any of those things here. Okay, so what I'd like to do is try to speed this up if possible. I don't know if I have much choice in that right now. Speed randomness. So let's see here. Whoops, let's come back here and see here. That's a little bit better. Okay, I think. I'm just hoping it looks better. Sometimes I'll look at something and think it's better, but it's not. All right, so let's go back up here and close that down. And so let's go to here and bring up the speed randomness here too. And yes, something seemed to linger. And I'm just playing around with force there. And for this tutorial, I think I'm just going to try to settle. Let's hope that this improved it some. It's not bad. I need to play around with one other thing. And that is we need to put a blur on this. Okay? Because that's going to help that greatly so they don't look so much like shapes. So let's go back in there to the blood pre-comp. And we'll do it. Let's see here. We're going to do blur. And we could do a fast box blur perhaps. Because there's some blurs that just take so long. And I'm just looking through here. I tried a directional blur. And it was taking too long. So somewhere around here, let's go and bring up that blur radius a little bit. Let's bring that down. Let's go down here and we'll put a blur on it. All right, so fast blur on it, and let's bring up the blur radius on those things a bit more. Whoa. Make sure I'm on the same one here. We'll check and see here. Effects. Okay, fast box blur, yeah. We just want to make sure we're on this one. Oh, yeah, the blur radius. There we go. That's going to start making it look a little bit more like blood. Okay. That's kind of what I was looking for. Now let's go to the top one here and go to fast box blur and then do the same thing. And the radius is going to go not totally up like that, but just enough. So, and let's go back here and just see what this will look like. There we go. That looks a lot better. Okay? I can live with this for this tutorial. So now comes a hard part. Or I call it a hard part because I just did it once. And what that's going to be is the aftermath. The aftermath of what is going on as far as the blood splatters and stuff like that. So once we get that done, I think we'll have smooth sailing. So let me go to our project window and do Command or Control I so we can import these things. And I'm going to import all this. We don't want to do the girl here. All right. We'll import the blood. Okay. And then we'll do Control I again so we just get the whole. Okay. And then let's go over to our Gone Girl layer. Okay. And what we're going to do is, and this gets tricky here. So I'm going to have to 3D map this, and then we can put this stuff on it. And this takes a moment here, and it doesn't work as well as I'd like it to, but it really is going to help us. Okay? So what we need to do is, I think it's under here. I'm just looking. Or maybe it'd be good to... I got to click this bottom layer here. That's one of the reasons I got to do here. All right, track camera. I think that's what we want to do. All right. Now let's see what it's going to do here. Tracking, 3D track camera tracker. So it's going to take a minute. It's analyzing it right now. And I'm hoping it's doing what it needs to do here. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, it's tracking it. Time remaining 4 seconds. Come on. Solving it. Come on. Now, I think we're just going to be patient. There it goes. Okay. Finally. So now these are these 3D points. And my problem with it is I really want some points on this because this is where I want to put stuff. But we're going to try our best here. We're going to zoom in here. And so in order to, what we're going to do is, if you notice, if you scroll over here, you'll start to see this little circle there. And it goes back in space depending upon where you're at. I would really like one on the ground, but for some reason when it generated all this stuff, it doesn't generate it for the ground too well. So I'm just going to do my best here. And so we could take this one, and we're going to hold down our shift key and get this one. And then let's get this one. Okay, I'm wondering, let's just click off that for a moment. I want to see if I can get anything better than that. We got this and this. And let's try this. It's still off there. Okay, we'll try this one. And I'm just going to we'll try that one. And try that one. That's not bad. I'm going to try some different ones here until I hopefully get something that's more closer to what I'm looking for. And I don't know if I'll get it. Just because I don't know why it does this, but this is what it does, okay? So it makes this. And what we're going to do is we're going to right-click this and set ground layer plane origin, okay? And then we're going to right-click it again, and we're going to go create solid. So it's going to create a solid shape. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to my effects and look for grid. Okay, here's grid. We're going to drag the grid over it. And this will make it a little easier to deal with because now we can kind of look at the grid and we can move this around now a little bit better. And we can play around with how this thing is situated, okay? And that's really what I want to try to do here is I'm going to rotate it better. And let's try this one here. I think that's the depth. And that's that. And we want to kind of bring it up here. Okay, so that's the depth, see? That's with the X, the Y, and the Z. And I think I'm just going to have to play with it the best I can. There we go. There, finally, I'm getting to where I want it to be. Except it's still a little... Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to set this up so we're going to use this to put our blood and our hole and all that stuff on. And I think that we could probably live with this. Okay? And so I'm going to turn off the grid. And the way you turn off the grid is by clicking on this little FX right here. It took me forever to figure out how to do that. All right, so it goes back to that. Now let's go to our project window. And let's go back to our girl for just a second here. Okay, so we see where that's at. And go back to this. Okay, so I'm going to put some blood here. And I think we got blood for the wall here. We'll use blood 3. And what we're going to do is drag this and hold down the Alt key. And it will put it in position there, okay? And now we can kind of move this around to where we want it to be. Whoops, we don't want to do that. That was moving that other thing here. So we want to try to play around with where the blood is located. And we can actually scale this up too, if I can get into it. Let me get closer into it here. And yeah, so see, I can scale it up. So it's three-dimensionally now. It's on that plane, and it just took me forever to get it there. But as you can see, that's going to work very well. Okay, and I think what I am going to do here to make this my job simpler is I'm going to just duplicate this. Okay, and move it. Move the duplicate here, move it here, okay? And let's go to blood 2, or blood 1. Blood 1. Hold down the Alt key and see if we can substitute that. There we go. That's what I want. Now let's go back to our main comp here to see where things are located. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Okay, so let's go back into this. All right. We'll take this one again, and we'll duplicate it, Command D, and then we'll just bring it down here, or Control D, I should say, on the PC. And we're going to put in blood 2, okay? And we'll hold down our Alt key and drag it down here. Okay, and we can scale this. And play around with scale, how that's going to be situated there. Okay, zoom out a little bit. All right, that's good. I like that. That should work. And I think we're going to do another one here. So we'll go back to this one, and we'll do Control D. Okay, and we're going to move it. And I'm hoping... we can move it afterwards, too. But we're going to put the hole there. So I'm going to take the hole, put the Alt there, hold down the Alt key, drag it into here. Okay, and now we're just going to have to experiment with this to try to make that hole look better. And let's hope, let's go back to our girl walking here, our main comp, and see. See, she was right there. And there's all that. So let's play it now. Not bad. I can probably live with that, you know. And you can make it better if you need to, because it just takes a little while getting used to. I didn't think I'd have such a good go of this. So let's go back into our comp here. And then the other thing I'm going to do here, which is going to be a little tricky, and I'm going to make a new shape layer. So let's deselect off of everything here. Shift Command A will do that. And let's go and get our... I'm going to use a star. And we're going to make a star like this. And under the star... we've got options. Okay. And we're going to go see stroke, transform polygon, and position. I'm just looking at all these options we got here. Points. Let's go up in points. Okay. And let's bring the inner radius in a little bit more, like this. Okay. So I'm going to inner radius and bring that down. Then I'm going to do the outer radius we can bring out a little bit, perhaps. And then the roundness of the inner layer, let's see about rounding that a little bit. And then the outer layer we'll see about, kind of pinch it like that. Not too much, sure. Now we're going to put that in 3D, which is going to be much better. And what we're going to do is, if I can remember how we're going to do this, I did it once before. Let's go get our hole. Okay. And I'm going to see what we got here. We got the effects, the grid, the transform. I'm thinking here. What if I just duplicate the hole? Okay. So let's get the hole. We'll do Control D. Okay, so I got a duplicate of the hole. And I want to take this star and I'm just, I just done this recently. After taking a nap, I came back down and said, okay, I'm going to try this now. And let's see if I can do something. No, that's not doing it. I apologize, guys, but we really want to get that 3D effect, and we might just have to remap it, which is okay. If that's the case, because we've got to do another mapping thing anyway. So let me go back, Control Z, and it's because of our star was a thing over here, which I'm wondering if I could do that. If I can, I can't drag that up in there. I'm just seeing all my possibilities right now to make my life easier. Yeah. Let's go back to here. And I want to find my 3D camera. There we go. There's my 3D camera. And we're going to just have to make one for it. Because I did this somehow. And like I said, you know what? Let me try this. This might be doing it. Okay, that did it. But what I did was it brought it all the way over here. So I'm going to need to bring it back over here. I turned it into a 3D layer. That's what I did. Okay, so I turned it into its own 3D layer by clicking that little button. I apologize for this taking so long here. But we're just going to have to manage this a bit until we get this right. At least it's a little bit better than what it was before. Okay. I got that rotated that way now. I'm going to keep it flat. Now let's move it over here. Okay. I think we could play with scaling it. We want it somewhere around there, okay? There we go. So now it's in 3D, and it's being mapped there, like that. And then I'm going to go and we're going to add a blur to it, okay? So let's go up to Effects and Blur, and we're going to do a radial blur, okay? And let's just say the amount is just a little bit. And let's click off it just a second and see what it looks like. Okay, that starts to look good. And that might be all I need to do. But let's go up under here. And, here's our blending modes. So as you can see here, what I did was I went up under this shape layer that I have. And it's got all these things on it. But under Polystar 1, you see normal? We're going to go and do multiply. Okay, And we could actually go down here just a little bit more, and we're going to go to effect, we're going to go to transform, and just lower the opacity a little bit. Okay, so let's go and lower the opacity just a little bit on that. Okay, and click off. Well, we'll come down here and just and then click off of it, and look at that. That looks so much better. So I hope all that makes sense. If not, you're going to have to rewind, and I apologize for me struggling there, because like I said, I had just recently done that. And see, everything gets mapped very well. And there's other things I'm going to do to the blood. I'm going to put one more thing of blood on this, and then we're going to make the blood look like it's on there better, okay? And I'm just letting it play through once. And see, the only reason we have to do all this in 3D is because the camera at the very end moves. It just moves so slightly. And we want this to track with it. We want all those shapes to track with everything, okay? And that's why I did that. Because anytime you have something moving, like if you're tracking around a building or something, you've got like damage on it, which is in one of those video Copilot tutorials, then you need to track in 3D so everything stays on there. We can even put text in 3D on something. So let's go in here and go to back down to here, 3D tracker. We'll turn it on. We're going to make another one here. You hold down your shift key and you pick 3 of these, and this will give you something to go by. I'm going to do another one here. I'm just trying this till I get something I like. We'll do this, okay? We're not going to make this hard. So now let's go, and then we'll create solid on this. Okay? And then we're going to put the grid on that. So throw the grid over here on top of that, like that. And then we can play around with where this is going to go and what angle it's going to be at. Yeah, it needs to be on the wall more like that. And we're going to have it somewhere around here. Okay, now we can turn the 3D grid off by going over to FX and it's next to the grid and just click on that. Now it goes back to that solid. All right, now let's go to our project right here. And under project, we got the blood for the wall. So we're going to take this, hold down the Alt key, and put this on the wall. Okay, and we can move that afterwards. But now this will track here. All right, so now all this blood, we're going to have to play around with it to make it look better. And I guess one thing we could try to do is up under effect. Yeah, okay. I'm just looking at all my options here. I think really our best bet is playing around with our curves because that really seems to do it. So we're going to add curves. So I went over here, typed in curves. We're going to bring that over onto here. Okay, and then we're just going to adjust it. We can go to, let's say, the red layer and just adjust so it's darker. See, like that. Okay, and we can play around with it a little bit more if we want to. We're just trying to adjust it so it's not so light. Okay, and let's see if there's one other thing I could do here. That's under transform, material options. I'm just going to click off of it here and see what that looks like. It's better. It is better. And we can move this blood down a little bit more like that. All right, so it looks more like blood. And I was just wanting to play around with its opacity, and we might be able to do that through, the opacity right here. Well, that's the grid. That's the grid opacity. We need to see if we can change this opacity. Let's go over here, and we can lower the opacity a little bit here on that. And there should be a way. Blending modes. There we go. All right, so what I'm doing is on this layer, Blood 2, I just right click, and we're going to go to our blending modes, and we'll set that to multiply. Okay, or we can set it to something else. Blending modes, we could do it like soft light, which is maybe soft light does it. Yeah, soft light's not bad. I'm going to try another one here. Let's try hard light. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those blending modes. So blending mode, we'll go, try overlay. Overlay usually always works. Yeah, we'll do overlay for the moment, okay? And we're going to lower the opacity just a little bit more here. And we're going to do that to each one of these. So we'll go to Blood 1, and we'll do curves for it. So we're just going to drag the curves into it, like that. And then we're going to go to red, the red one, and then we'll just drag this down so it gets a little darker here. Like that. And then we're going to go and do blending mode. And we'll do overlay on this. Okay. And we'll just go up under transform here. I guess I could hit the T for that and just lower the opacity just a little bit. And we'll do the same for the blood on the wall. Okay, add curves to that. We're almost done here. And I'm so happy that I actually remembered most of this. So there's a lot of things going on. And one of the reasons why I made this tutorial is because of just all the possibilities that we're playing around with stuff. And let me see, the blood on the wall, we'll change the blending mode maybe to, let's try darker color. Let's see that and hit deselect. That's not bad, okay? And then let's go back to, it's the first blood, I believe. Blood 3? Yeah, that one. Okay, that one, we got to do the same thing. We bring the curves into it. We go to RGB and turn that to red. And then we can play around with making that darker. Okay. And you can play even more with RGB. Like if you wanted to go, let's say the green, and play around with it. And I'm just playing around, see what we can do here, since I got a moment. All right, that's fine. Now we're going to do right-click, blending mode, and we'll do overlay. Ooh. Shift-Command. We'll come up here, Shift-Command-A, and look at that. I mean, yeah, it's different colors and things, but I kind of like that because that's in daylight right there, okay? The rest are kind of in shadow. So let's go back over to here and watch this and just see what it looks like. It's going to take a moment we're going to have to watch it twice because we'll have to render it. It's not, it's not perfect. It's not totally professional, but this will teach you enough of how you can do things with special effects in After Effects. And I'm going to do another couple of tutorials here. So anyway, this will end this tutorial, and you can always ask me questions in class.